Chelsea, you came back.
I did. I'm here.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
We didn't scare you off.
Did scare you off, yeah. And no need to thank us. This is you're here now. It's like giving you the keys. Like you can let yourself in whenever. I mean, you're on the logo. That
I am. That's pretty official.
It is. Doesn't get much more official than that. So
not really.
No, like if this podcast was like a small home that we built because it was a budget, you'd have the keys to the small home, and then we would just already kind of be in there sweaty and warm. Because I don't know how you keep that place like AC'd at all on a budget. So we're just there, sweaty and warm, and you can come in whenever you want to this area, which I've made sound completely not a place you'd want to be.
I was gonna say, scoot over on the sticky leather couch. I don't know.
I thought we were the trust tree of the nest, but now we're in like the Lazy Boy branded version of the nest, where it gets really humid and no one wants to sit on the couch because their back's going to stick to it.
And it's not even going to be a couch. It's going to be a love seat because, again, tiny home. We don't have room for a couch. And the fact that they have to call it a love seat is embarrassing.
You would think a tiny home would be very easy to air condition.
You would hope.
No, but it's one of those wall units, though, where like it only splits out to like that one section of the house, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's all you got.
Yeah. So now the three of us are just crowded around a wall unit.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like we've put it like in a back corner, like lower corner, which makes the least sense because it just kind of makes our feet cold. We'd even think to like put it higher to let the cold air come down. Nope, just bad construction the whole way around.
Yeah, that doesn't help me at all. My feet are always cold.
Who likes that?
It's the living room version of a vest. Your chest is warm above your arms. Yeah. Oh, but hey, we're happy. We've got this little band going here, and we're actually this week is brought to you by our fans on Twitter who decided they wanted to vote on a couple topics, and Idiocracy was one of those. And now we've got the history of Trey Parker and Matt Stone, which we'll be covering this week and next. But today we've got the topic of a little Broadway play called The Book of Mormon, because it doesn't really fall into a full-length feature film or a TV property. So I had to do something with it. Yeah,
because it's neither of those things, to my knowledge. And to my knowledge, it is limited because I have not seen the Book of Mormon.
Which is a damn shame.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't want to pin like all my musical like knowledge on like me being in different relationships, but typically if I'm not in a relationship, I haven't watched a musical, and that fell in a single area. So, which I am in again. So currently I am not seeing any musicals. I'm just here with
the music to girlfriend ratio is
entirely skewed.
Joe, maybe that's the missing element of this, is that you've got to go to a musical and maybe you'll meet, the future Mrs. Venable there,
I mean, it's a bold choice. I mean, I'd imagine like that's where you go with a date, like already. Like, do single women go to musicals? Is this a place I should go into?
Cultured single women, maybe. This is what you need to do. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to purchase your ticket, and you're not going to purchase the seat directly next to the aisleway. You're going to purchase the one right next to that. So you're guaranteed a solo flying person. Yeah, it might be a 60-year-old man, but it could be a fun and attractive young lady.
It could be. And if not, if it's a 6-year-old man, I've got someone to talk to, because God knows he's going to talk through the whole musical.
Yeah, so who knows? One more friend. Line them up.
Yep.
Maybe brunch date. Just two guys going to brunch. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Nope.
I love brunch.
Bro brunch.
Well, this thing for Book of Mormon, Joe, it's kind of a good thing that you haven't seen it, because now we can really educate you quite a bit on it. Now, do y'all remember when Trey Parker and Matt Stone tried out the whole "That's My Bush" TV show back in the early 2000s?
I do recall. Yep. It was fun while it lasted. For all of what did it get 2 seasons before it got canceled?
I think it was just one.
Was it just one season then canceling? Yeah,
I want to say it was one, but that's kind of where this unofficially started, this whole idea of the Book of Mormon, because like Trey Parker and Matt Stone had always thrown around the idea of trying to like depict a fictionalized version of Joseph Smith. the founder of the exactly. Yeah, the founder of the Latter-day Saint movement. And so that idea, like I said, it spun off into That's My Bush, which I think it was actually supposed to be about Al Gore because they thought he was going to win, but he didn't. But anyway.
So did Al Gore. So it's fine.
Yeah. God. You know what, that Family Guy moment where at Fox News they say this is the switch we flipped that makes a sound that only Al Gore can hear. Honey, it's the sound again. It's just the wind, honey. It's not the wind. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, that's where this idea kind of starts, right? Like that seed was always kind of planted for Trey Parker and Matt Stone. And obviously, we've talked about the 2003 episode, all about Mormons, that would air on South Park. Mm-hmm. But something we'll be covering in the film episode of Trey Parker and Matt Stone is going to be Team America, which
heck
hard to not say fuck. Yeah, I was going to say just fuck yeah. You can't say
it. Yeah. I tried censoring it. I tried to go like the dog route, and because dogs are too good to swear.
Heckin' yeah.
So Team America, heck yeah. No, Team America, fuck yeah. It has to come out.
Joe, you might as well have a wand next to your mic when you do that. Like, my name's Joe, and this is Digital Dissection, and do a little Disney Channel wave with it,
Yep.
Heck yeah. Sorry. It's okay.
Fine. That's fine. I mean, none of my students are listening. I really should just swear. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Explicit labels on the episode. They're not counting, per instance of curse word. You might as well just go nuts with it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so let me try and slog through the history as I can remember it. But the development, though, of Team America actually led Trey Parker and Matt Stone to go to Broadway because Scott Rudin, who produced the South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, he told them that you guys should go check out Broadway because I think this is going to help you, fix some of the gaps in like the musical element of Team America. You guys just maybe haven't flexed your muscles nearly as much recently with.
And you don't have to use marionettes, by the way, which they fucking hated from Team America.
Yep. So that's what they did. They ended up going to it was a musical called Avenue Q, and they would actually end up be like spotted by the composers of the Broadway play. So like they would see them in the audience. These guys go out and grab a few drinks together, and next thing you know, they're producing this thing. It's just a couple ideas over drinks, and all of a sudden they've got a Broadway musical they're trying to put together.
I mean, that's how this country got started. It was just a couple of guys drinking, like, hey, taxes, am I right? Fuck that shit.
Yeah. Let us see what we can do.
Have you seen the price of tea?
Oh my God. It's unbearable.
All we talk about is wooden teeth and cholera. I would like to do something different. Yeah, this is a game changer for these guys, though. I mean, like Trey Parker's always got a background in like music, which once again we're going to cover that. But this is where that idea about Joseph Smith just kind of snowballs. Like this idea has kind of been festering for years. It picks up steam. So what I always thought was funny about just the development portion of this. Trey Parker and Matt Stone really just kind of leaned in on these guys who created Avenue Q, and they just kind of went with it. They just kept going with it. And what I remember was reading into this story a few years ago. The creators of Avenue Q were telling Trey Parker and Matt Stone, "Hey, let's workshop the project." And Trey Parker's like, "What does that mean? What is that whole thing about?" And because they've never done it, they have no idea. I didn't even know what workshopping meant. It just basically meant you're putting your own money into creating the production until it's like practiced. You've got it built out. You like show it to your friends and family.
I just assumed more wood was involved in workshopping something. Like you're just like building shit while talking about like what you want to do, and that's workshopping. Like what you're building has nothing to do with what you want to actually do. It's like, no, we're gonna make this canoe and talk about making a musical today. So here we go, gents. Get your hammers, get your sanders ready, your belt sanders. Shirts are in fact optional for this meeting. And here we go. We're workshopping today.
And what's your name? Name's Scruffy. I do Broadway musicals and I do whittling. And we're doing both of those today. Well, that's what this was, though. They started workshopping it. I'm pretty sure they ended up putting several hundreds of thousands of dollars into this like workshop idea.
Workshopping is expensive. Wow.
Yeah, well, it's Trey Parker and Matt Stone. I mean, they're shitting money, like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and they're just going along with it. So it kind of tells you what their bank account, you know, is looking like. We can just drop some cash on this and just let it go and see what happens.
Yeah, just let it ride.
Yeah. So that's like the early days of this, though. Out of those workshops, though, I always thought this was crazy that Josh Gad would get attached to the project because, I mean, this guy is the snowman Olaf in the Frozen movies, like kids movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Chelsea, you know as well as I do that the Book of Mormon is definitely not for children, is it?
No, absolutely not for children. Definitely adult themed. Yeah, they're any fans of Olaf should not be carrying over into the Book of Mormon. They're gonna be disappointed.
So this is like when the people who took their kids to see Deadpool and just completely disregarded the R rating. It's like, this is not a movie for kids. They should say something about that. hey, Hollywood, you screwed up. Now my kid's swearing.
Dude, it was funny because when I went to go see Book of Mormon years ago, I was sitting next to someone in the theater who was reading the Book of Mormon. And so I looked over to my wife and I'm like looking at this guy and I go, you really do not know what you're getting into, do you?
Is he trying to like a play? Did he like think they were just doing a musical of the actual book?
Hey, this isn't how it happened in the book.
It's like they have gone way to happen. They've gone way off script.
Wait a minute.
Hey, stop the show.
I felt so bad for this guy. He actually was laughing though. So maybe for him it was like, you know, let me see how much of my faith gets tested here. And then he finds out he's having a good time anyway. So yeah, pretty damn funny. But yeah, I mean, the show would go on to, I mean, just make a buttload of money. Obviously people really love this. It's still on Broadway. Even I think it's run since 2011.
Wow.
So
dude,
it's going strong as hell. So, I mean, I guess we should probably talk to you a little bit about this. So for those of you who, you know that we do spoiler alerts and then we immediately start talking about things, well, that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah. So I've gathered it does not go page for page with the actual Book of Mormon. That's
no.
We're past that. Okay.
Yeah, not quite. What would actually be the whole basis of this play is that it's obviously about Mormons, right? Trey Parker's got a pretty, you know, developed history with the Mormon faith and church. And so what we end up getting introduced to is basically like a Mormon who he's not the best of the Mormons. He's learning, you know.
Okay.
He's got some enthusiasm, but it's sometimes misplaced. So he doesn't quite have the details of the religion all the way down. So as you can tell, it's just we're building to something hilarious, but also you can tell it's going to be embarrassing at some point, because usually lies don't get smaller; they just get bigger, don't they? So that's what ends up happening as these missionaries end up getting shipped over to Africa. They need to introduce the Mormon faith to African tribes, and this Mormon, you know, who originally was played by Josh Gad, he basically makes it up as he goes.
Okay.
He just tells everybody, you know what? That's cool. We'll just you know, Jesus has got lasers shooting out of his eyes. Why not? Yeah. So yeah, it gets
that sounds cool. Yeah,
well,
you can't bring people in if it's lame. I mean, I know I taught Catholic religion classes for 3 solid years, and whatever I did not remember from me growing up, I filled in the gaps with science fiction. Then you know what? Fuck it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like if you know what if it's entertaining, they'll probably latch on to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, Noah had 2 of each animal on his rocket ship, and when he just watched the Earth flood, and then he did that from space, and then when he saw it recede, they just came back down. repopulated everything. Yeah, very smart move. Yeah, dehydrated food for all of the animals. It's saved on weight. Really smart.
That's the first
calorically dense, which is important.
Absolutely.
The first NASA camp of all time.
Yep, you can find the ruins of the Ark on the moon because they sent it back up there when they didn't need it anymore.
Yeah.
And there is a generation of children going around believing that right now because of this guy right here.
Yeah.
Nah, please send your hate mail to.
Yeah. I would have gotten fired so fast. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and we're kind of paraphrasing here because we don't want to give everything away, right? I mean, even though this has been out for 10 years now, the tale is actually not like I don't want to say it's heartwarming, Chelsea. Wouldn't you say, in a way?
Honestly, to me, I feel like at the end of it does kind of leave you a little heartwarmed, but it also has to break you down all the way first because there are a lot of really heavy themes in it as well, while they're making obviously light and joking around a lot about the topics themselves, but ultimately they're also going, hey, you guys are all idiots. Like, there's a lot of real people that have real problems out in the world. So, I mean, it's heartwarming, it's heavy, it's hilarious, and it's a little bit offensive. It's the best of all things.
There's something for everyone.
Yeah.
Well, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they just couldn't avoid some of these scrotum jokes that they naturally were going to make here. What I thought was funny about this was that you've got like this African warlord, right? Who's like, just tearing up the countryside around these poor villagers that these two Mormon missionaries are there to try and convert. And they have been historically impossible to convert to the religion. So as we talked about with lies just, growing and building steam after a while, one of the missionaries kind of gives up and says, this is just too hard. We can't do it. The other one goes, you know what? I don't know LDS that well, but I'm going to tell the stories. I'm going to involve the hobbits, Lieutenant Uhura, Darth Vader, and Yoda, and I'm going to use them to help really connect with these villagers. And his whole rationalization of it is that, hey, if I'm helping these folks, it can't be a bad thing, can it?
Yeah. I mean, a little bit of lying to ease, into any situation is fine. That's the foundation of any good relationship with anyone.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And in the process, we get some pretty, fun music. I mean, I think after the like once we saw it in theaters, I was humming the Hello song at the very beginning, Chelsea, like for the whole week. like Joe, just like any good musical, once this music gets into your head, like it is not going to leave, for quite a long time.
I mean, I remember when I saw The Producers the first time, and Springtime for Hitler was in this guy's head for like a month. Which really weird one to start like singing, like lowly, like under your breath in any public setting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like the epic sax guy, or the screaming cowboy. I'm always constantly humming those things random times. But yeah, so we end up getting out of this property though. It's like your standard Trey Parker and like Matt Stone rapper, but it's containing this like we said, like it's the struggles of the African people and this warlord, who at the time I think was based on Coney, if y'all remember that warlord Coney. I think he was actually like originally named Coney, and oh my god, what was his name in this? Isn't it something like, oh my god, it is so bad what they name him. Yeah, it's gonna bother me. I know it's really.
I know it's like eating at me right now.
I can see it eating away at both of you. Like I could tell from Mark's picture, Mark and Chelsea's picture, like just killing you.
Well, his name is so bad that they couldn't print it in anything. That tells you.
Okay.
Oh no, it was General Butt Fucking Naked. That was the name of the general.
Yes.
So, yeah, Joe, this is like, it's dripping with the stuff you've come to know and love from Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
I assume you put those words in that order.
Yes, I did on purpose.
Yep.
Go clean yourself up.
Yep.
Go clean yourself up. Dirty girl. But yeah, so once again, it's a fun little musical. And I thought it was just kind of like, I honestly, the religious aspects of it, and Chelsea, you might agree with this, like the religious aspects didn't really, I mean, it didn't offend me at all. Like it wasn't even, it almost felt like an afterthought after a while.
Yeah. I completely agree. I wasn't offended by it at all. If anything, what's kind of offensive is the religion part of it being like shoved down the throats of these like poor struggling people.
Yeah. Which you always tend to feel anytime you see these like these missionary type of even other movies, like not just this one, or not just this play rather, but anytime you see this situation, you're always like, yeah, like where do you impose this on people for survival? Because usually it's paired with, we'll give you food, we'll give you education, we'll give you electricity if you just worship, good old JC over here. But yeah, ultimately, yeah, it's a Broadway musical with a lot of heart, Joe. And honestly, I think you should go, because I think that you won't just meet Mrs. Vinipole there, but you're also gonna probably enjoy yourself for a good hour and a half. 2 hours.
I could. Yeah, I just have to find it playing somewhere near the good old town of Stevens Point. Yeah, that I will have. Like that'll have to be a serious road trip for me. Which I know for Wild played not too far away from me, but again, this is back in like 2013, and I recall like one of my 7th graders going to see it with his mom, and I'm like, what the hell? Like I haven't seen it, I haven't heard much about it, but I know who made it, and there is no way this should be happening. But whatever. It's I know when your kid acts weird, like don't, and I get upset about it. Like I mean, just don't point the finger at anyone but yourself.
Again, it's Broadway. It's got to be harmless, right? It's culture. It's a good thing.
I mean, totally harmless. I mean, one of the songs is called Joseph Smith, American Moses. That's a great one. The one that'll probably offend most Christians was the Hasadiga Ibawai song, which I
love that song.
I won't translate it for you, Joe, but roughly it just means well, I'll let you dig that one out.
I can Google that. That's again, I as a recovering Catholic, I will likely be unoffended by whatever it means, so it's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, dude, if you've never experienced Trey Parker and Matt Stone before, because a lot of people, even then, like you might have heard the names, but I think the people that went to this were pleasantly surprised, because the ratings were really good for this. Like the reviews were stellar. Like I said, I mean, a buttload of money. It was sold out everywhere it went. So once it's not just about being offended, like you are going to have a good time. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it won multiple Tonys, like I think it won a Grammy. I mean, it took home a lot of recognition. It's not still on Broadway for no reason.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of controversy. As you can probably imagine. So obviously the Church of Latter-day Saints, Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they would put out a statement on it, which I think people said the exact words was that it was a very measured response. Which that's fine. They probably did that on purpose, not to give them more publicity than they needed. But you know what? Josh Gad put it really well himself when he said that in the 1.5 years that he did the show, he never got a single complaint from practicing Mormon. And yeah, he said there were actually people that told him that they were so moved by the show that they actually took up the Mormon faith.
Oh, wow. Okay. And they knew going into that, Luke Skywalker had no real place in Church of Mormon at all. So good on them.
Awesome.
Good on them. Yeah.
Maybe that's what sold them. Maybe that was it.
So my guess then, like, I guess is the play like not necessarily picking exclusively on Mormonism so much as just like, I don't know, trying to spread a faith in the modern world?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that by any means that you leave going, man, they really beat Mormonism up here. It wasn't like that at all. It was tactfully done. I mean, it was really good.
And that was exactly my takeaway, Joe, from the themes of this was that it reminded me of people who I knew who were like just crazy devout in their faith, but didn't even understand their own scripture.
Yeah.
And so you see that same enthusiasm from Josh Gad's character in this, and then telling lies to sell the truth. It's really weird, right?
And I really do think, honestly, what comes out of it is that humanity, being kind, doing good things is what's more important than signing up and converting people and, being part of a specific religious sect or something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like, spoiler alert, like lying to your kids about Santa Claus, you're still making them do good things. They get rewarded for it. There just isn't a dude like giving them presents that's not you as the parent.
If we could boil it down, yeah.
Yeah, same thing. You just oversimplify any situation, and that's how you can basically win any argument.
It's just so odd, though, that we would establish order by telling children that an elderly, overweight man is watching you do everything in life, and that's why you should be good.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what, Joe?
I mean, that's how the chupacabra works, to my knowledge as well. And then there are some very, very strange parallels of the Catholic Church, if you want me to go into detail with the chupacabra. Which really, if there are, I don't know. I stole that from Venture Brothers.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When we revisit Supernatural, dude, if we revisit the Supernatural TV show again, we'll definitely go into the backstory of the chupacabra and give that some time. But I think what we should really do, Chelsea, why don't we buy Joe a ticket to the Book of Mormon?
Okay.
Maybe let's be ambitious and buy him two. And worst case scenario, you come out of there being a born again Mormon, Joe. How about that?
Man, that I think. What if like, so there's that, but then what if like the next time you hear from me, it's because you're flying somewhere and I'm like in an airport with my head shaved, saying like Hare Krishna, and that's what this did to me. It just had a completely other like side of like I don't know, like not a 180 or like just kind of a sideways motion of what you expected to happen just now.
I can think of worse things.
Yeah, I mean there could be way worse. I could end up in like I could be in a weird sex cult.
Let that freak flag fly.